Hi, my name is Todd Strauss Schulson. I'm a movie maker, and I'm saying hello to all of you guys from Scifiworld.
So, tell us about tell us about your movie, where the project came from, the idea.
That's 3 questions.
Yeah.
My movie is called The Final Girls, and I'm the director of the movie, and I love it very much. It's my favorite movie, and it's a little bit like Back to the Future or Pleasantville. It's about a bunch of kids from now who get sucked into a very bad horror film from the 80s, like Friday the 13th or The Burning. But really what the movie is about a young girl who loses her mother, who gets sucked into her mother's most famous film. Her mother is an actress. So it's about a second chance to be with her mother in the middle of like kind of a bad horror movie. It tries to save her mother, bring her mother home. So it's emotional and very sweet, but very funny because it's the 80s and all this, and a lot of action, scary. It's the full range of human emotion. You're laughing, you're crying, you're scared. It's pretty, it's weird, it's cool. So it's everything. It's all the feelings.
Yeah, and it has this kind of meta-linguistic element. He told me before that the argument seems to
the Last Action Hero.
Yes.
To Last Action Hero. I don't know if it was a reference or.
The Last Action Hero, it is like Last Action Hero. It is. It's the same sort of an idea, but that was never a reference for us for some reason. More Pleasantville, more Purple Rose of Cairo, more Back to the Future, a little bit of Sherlock Jr., you know, the old Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
But Last Action Hero is a good reference. It does a little bit like that. But this is more of a human story, and it's more heart, more tender.
Yeah.
But yes, but very much all the fun games of being in a movie. One of the fun parts of making it was thinking of all of the meta ideas.
Yeah.
How can you make the movie an antagonist? I grew up, I loved movies. I would watch 4 movies a day for my whole life. I lived next to a video store in New York, and every day after school, no homework, I would just go rent all the movies and watch all of the movies. Any movie, I'd watch it. And so it was very fun to come up with a way to make a movie a bad guy. And so to deconstruct the film. So in this movie, they can see the credits, and they can touch and step over the credits, and they can cue a flashback. They can use a flashback. And so using all of the language of films and making it anthropomorphizing it was very, very fun as a person who loves movies.
Like this slow motion part.
Oh yeah, they get stuck in slow. But you didn't see
No,
the
I
trailer.
saw the trailer 2 times. I really want to see your movie.
Yeah, there's a scene in the film where the characters get stuck in slow motion, and they're aware of it, and that's when the tone of it becomes very fun, because it's very funny to be stuck in slow motion, but it's also very cool because it looks, and there's a man on fire, so it's like real cool, but it's also like scary, like a stress dream. You know those dreams you have where you're running but you
cannot
not
run.
moving.
Yeah.
So it also is that. So that scene is kind of the tone, because it's very funny, but it's very clever, but it's very beautiful, but it's very scary. And that's kind of what the movie feels like. And there's many, many moments like that in the film.
It also reminds me to a segment in Twilight Zone, the movie, the Joe Dante segment.
When the cartoon comes out.
Yeah, the cartoon comes out.
Man, that is the best segment in that movie.
Yeah.
I used to, because the practical effects are so cool. At the end of this, very, very cool. That was never really a reference either for us, but yeah, things like that maybe, or Stay Tuned. You know the movie Stay Tuned? Peter Hyams movie with John Ritter.
Underrated movie.
A very great underrated film. This is not really, because that movie is more sketch comedy, because many different, and this is only one. But it's sort of in a genre like that. It is like that. We would say that it was Terms of Endearment meets Friday the 13th. Because it has that. You know what else it's a little bit like? This is a crazy reference, but you guys know movies. It's a little bit All That Jazz. You know All That Jazz? It's a very distant cousin, but a little bit, because All That Jazz is a personal filmmaking about his own mortality and grief and death, right? It's serious. But it's a musical with singing and dancing, and it's really stylish and cool and very human, and so it's like that. For us, it's a story. Josh Miller, who was one of the writers, who's was in Near Dark. He was an actor as a child, and his father plays the priest in Exorcist, and his father died. And so he wrote this script about his dad. He wrote a script about losing his father and really being only able to see his father on the screen getting murdered. And it was a very strange experience, and he wanted to write about the death of his dad, but he felt almost you could get to the truth of that using fiction, using this crazy idea of being sucked into his most famous movie more than just straight melodrama. And I think that that's a really smart impulse, and that's what I liked about the movie also, is that it's sort of that story, truthful, but in a very fun, crazy movie idea. And then it becomes very easy and fun to watch. You're laughing for a lot, but then at the end, crying.
Wow. I can't wait to see the movie.
It's cool, man.